This is an opportunity. I've been waiting to talk to this guy for a long, long time, and a guy who is in charge of one of the more unique programs in the state, and a team that, spoiler alert, when you get your 2016 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we think could be pretty good. We are pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Dallas Jesuit Rangers. It is Coach Brandon Hickman. Coach, how are you?
Great. Appreciate having me on the show.
Hey, absolutely appreciate you taking a little bit of time to spend with us. I want to ask you first and foremost about life as the coach at Jesuit. Obviously, you're one of two private schools in the UIL. You are among the more unique programs in the UIL. Is that something that even registers with you at all, or are there advantages, disadvantages to this? Overall, what is that like, being the head coach of one of the more unique programs in the state?
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, every year is a challenge for us. You know, Jesuit is a very high academic school, and ourselves and Straight Jesuit are both in the UIL. We've been in for, I guess, 13 years now. Mm-hmm. And it's a unique situation. We've got great kids that are smart, very disciplined, and you know, I've really enjoyed my time there. This will be my 6th year as head coach. I was an assistant there, and then came back, went to public school, then came back in 2011, took over the program, and just a fun place to be. Great people to work with, and really good administration as well.
Do you think there are misconceptions about your team? Do you think there's misconceptions about your school being a private school and playing against public schools?
I don't think so. I wouldn't think there's any misconception. I mean, we don't recruit by any means. When I got there 10 years ago, I didn't know that. Found out real quickly that the kids have to take an entrance exam to get in. And so I really think that Jesuit's a more difficult school probably to get in than any school in the state, just because the kids have to take a test, go through an interview. And most of our kids are coming from, straight A's and private schools in the area that are coming into Jesuit or Bishop Lynch, or, there's a few other private schools in the area. But I think we're unique and appealing to kids because we get to play in the UIL. So we kind of get the best of both worlds as far as academically, spiritually, and then athletically as well.
I want to ask you a little bit about your tenure here at Jesuit. You're entering your 6th year, a remarkable 44-16 mark. You guys are a perennial playoff team, a perennial contender, but it seems like you guys will get into the playoffs, and then there will be that one team that just edges you in the playoffs. I can't remember the last time you guys really went into the playoffs and just got really overmatched or anything like that. What's your message to your kids about this, when it seems like every year you've got a good team and then, man, it seems like you're like 1 or 2 breaks away from really getting through?
We are. We in 2013 kind of made the furthest push that we've gone at Jesuit, and we went in the 3rd round and got beat by a very good Lake Travis team. And it was a great ball game until halftime, and in the second half, their tailback kind of took over the game. And the following year we played Rockwall in 14, and then they had a very talented team, and that was in the 2nd round as well. Then this past year we played Rockwall again in the 2nd round, and just couldn't get over the hump. We were up by 1 point with about 7 minutes in the ball game, and their tailback made a great play on us, and we just couldn't recover. And I think it keeps the kids hungry, for the following season. We were able to win the district this year for the first time, I guess, ever in the history, win it outright of the school since we've been in the UIL. And, we loaded our non-district schedule up. I wanted to do that this year, and we're playing some big-time teams in the state, but there's kind of method to the madness, I guess. I want to get our kids prepared non-district for the playoffs. And eventually you're going to play in the 2nd or 3rd round at DeSoto or Lake Travis. So I'd like to play it early on and kind of see where we're at as a program.
We're talking with Brandon Hickman, the head coach of the Dallas Jesuit Rangers, here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag DCTF Live. And Coach, I imagine one of the guys that you're most excited to bring back is your outstanding quarterback, Jacob Baelish, a guy who threw for 2,000 yards, was a running threat as well. Also, pretty smart guy, is a Stanford baseball commit. For you, getting to watch him every day, what can you tell us about Jacob and the kind of competitor he is?
Oh, he's a fierce competitor. I mean, I've coached a lot of kids. This will be my 20th year coaching, and he's probably the top 3 competitors that I've ever coached. Outstanding young man. He's a leader on our team. He's a great student. Has a 98 average at Jesuit, which is not easy, an easy task by any means. And committed to Stanford to play baseball last October. And, it's special because he's a 3-sport player, and you don't see that much these days. Kids wanting to specialize, and Jacob's not that type of kid. He plays, basketball, baseball, and football. And having him back this year will be huge for us offensively. He's the leader of the offense and the team, and actually had a really good year last year running the ball. I mean, he's a pretty good threat running and passing. And, something that's special with him is he threw in the state championship game a couple weeks ago on Saturday and ended up being the MVP of the state championship 6A baseball game. And then Monday he was out there running a 1200 with the football team.
Jeez.
He was at strength camp on Monday, which you don't see that. That's pretty rare with kids. And, he's always there. You can depend on him, and he's a guy you can definitely trust. And we're really going to try to enjoy this season with him as our senior quarterback.
I think that last year somehow you guys found a way to fly under the radar with your defense. But if you look at the numbers, under 16 points a game, it was a physical and very hardy defense. You guys bring back 5 starters on the defensive side. When you take a look at your defense heading into 2016, what do you see? What do you anticipate?
Well, we've got our defensive line back. 2 out of 3 guys are back on our defensive line, our nose guard and our 4 technique. And having those 2 guys back to anchor the defensive line will really help us. We run a 3-4 defense, and we've got one of our inside linebackers back as well, an outside linebacker, and then a cornerback. We've got a couple other guys, sprinkled in there that we feel really good about that'll be juniors. So we're looking to improve there defensively. I think we're faster defensively than we were a year ago. Coach Thompson and our defensive staff do a great job with the kids, and they bought in. We were able to put together a little string there of a couple of really good games defensively, and kids are flying around to the ball, and that's something we really stress a lot, especially the teams that we're playing with all the speed. We've got to be in the right spots, and our coaches do a good job coming up with that scheme, each week and trying to stop their number 1 player or number 2, some 3. And our kids are smart, and they buy into the game plan, and they go out and execute.
You mentioned the teams that you're going to be playing, especially in District 9 6A. You take a look at that. You're there. You guys will never get away from Dallas Skyline. That is just. It seems like the UIL is just dead set on you guys going to be there. But as well, you add in teams like Campbell. You add in the Richardson schools, including Lake Highlands and Pierce. You stick with Dallas W.T. White. Overall, when the UIL realignment came out, is this about what you were expecting?
I wasn't expecting Campbell to be in our district, which is a great addition, but I figured we'd be with the DIC schools with Skyline and W.T. White, and then having the Richardson schools in our district is nice as well. I was a coach at Richardson Pierce, the offensive coordinator there for 3 years, so I know a lot of those guys in the district. There's a good relationship with everybody that's in the district, so I'm very pleased with the district that we're in. Obviously, Skyline is a great program, and they do a great job there, and that's always a really tough game. I'm sure adding Campbell too will be rough as well. They'll be in the mix of things, and then with the Richardson ISD schools, those guys are doing a good job there as well. Got a few new coaches, I think, that were hired at a couple of the Richardson schools, so it's going to be very competitive. We just got to kind of take it one game at a time, and hopefully, that non-district schedule will get us prepared. Having that week off will be kind of nice, and we'll open up with Campbell at Jesuit. And that should be a great game. There's been a lot of tradition with Campbell and Jesuit over the years. I think the last time we played them was 2011. That was my first year as head coach, and they ended up beating us by a touchdown. But it was a very good, thrilling game there at the end of the game, and just a great team to have in our district to keep that rivalry going.
Of course, you guys really made headlines last year when you knocked off Skyline and ended their 49-game district winning streak. Going into that game, was there? I imagine you're telling your kids, we can definitely do this. When did it become real for you that, okay, we really might do this?
It was one of those games where I was just kind of preaching all week to the kids. Let's just hang around. Let's see if we can hang around with them. In our opening drive of that game, we took up 8 minutes of the drive. and gave up a sack on 4th down. And you don't get many possessions against them. But I told the coaches, the good thing is they don't have the ball. It's still 0-0. And so, we felt good going into halftime. The game was, I think, not 14-9. And we were just kind of hanging around there, and then got the ball about 6 minutes left in the game and took it down there and scored. And, that was a big win for our program, just, because they've had such a rich tradition, and that was a big deal, when us winning that game. And I think it gave the kids a lot of confidence after that game that we can go on and take the district. And but it wasn't really something we hammered home, because I've gone that route too. I've tried everything. We had Braveheart gladiator themes the week of the game, and I've tried everything you can imagine. And I finally said, you know what, let's just go in and see what happens. We didn't really talk about winning the district championship. It was just, let's go play and have fun, really, is all we told the kids. Just go play and have fun. You got nothing to lose. Nobody thinks you're going to win. We're the only ones that, feel like we can win in the locker room. And, the kids went out and executed the game plan, and I guess the rest was history there. So
It's certainly turned heads across the state, including here at the DCTF offices.
It was one of the hardest hitting games I saw all last year.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
It was
Great
very
game.
physical. He is Brandon Hickman. He is the head coach of the Dallas Jesuit Rangers. Coach, appreciate your time. Enjoy your off season, and I'm sure we'll be talking in the fall.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for having me on the show.